let's go. It's Friday. I am actually this short. I think, I'm missing a cushion. It's okay. We'll fix it. And this is ridiculous. I'm just going to stand. Which is not going to make it worse. It's a little better. Okay. TJ, was it the right move for the Lakers to fire Darvin Ham?
It's the right move. And when the end of the season, we lose to the Nuggets. Okay? They asked LeBron, they said, are you going to be back? When he gives his answer, that's letting me know if Darvin Ham is the coach, I don't know if I want to be here. And so to me, he was sending a message, is I want a new head coach. AD says in the playoffs, we were lost. We were just out there running around. When your two best players are unsure in the direction that the head coach is taking them, you have to make a move. The NBA is a league where the stars pretty much control and run the team. And once that happened, once AD said what he said, and LeBron with his passive aggressiveness, will you be back?
Yeah.
You got to make a move.
Yeah. I like the way you set that up because you're acknowledging who had the knife. Yeah, you had to cut him because your two stars had a knife that said he's got to go by what they said. And then Darvin Ham didn't help by saying that one of his other starters blanked the bed for 10 games.
Shots, though.
I get that, but there's just sometimes you have to play the political game and you can't say what you're really thinking. And if that was directed toward D'Angelo Russell, he was one of the guys that was in the locker room that was still on the Darvin Ham train. And so you lost that one. So there was no choice but to change this. But I appreciate that you're acknowledging why it needed to be changed, because just from from coaching this team standpoint, I don't know that the change was necessary. And we're going to get to this because I don't know who you're going to get that is going to demonstrably change who you are.
Yeah. James?
No, and that's why my answer is no, because number one, there's no coach in the NBA right now, and there's a lot of great coaches in the NBA, but there's no coach in the NBA right now that's taking this Lakers roster to the finals and winning it. This man was in the Western Conference Finals last year. He's in the playoffs this year, and he's been taking all the shots, Slick. Yeah. Every time something goes bad, AD don't deliver in the fourth quarter, we lost when he get to the podium. We lost, we don't know what we're doing. Brown dribbling the ball off his feet, turning the basketball over crazy. He getting out there, he's saying the things that he's saying. So everybody's pointing the finger. D-Lo going 0 for 17, you're dang right. They've been pointing all the fingers at me. It's my turn to kind of point some of these fingers back at these players because I'm not the one playing. They got to make the buckets. And when we need to make the buckets, they are not making the buckets, are making the plays. So I don't necessarily think it was the right move because, number one, what's going to make these players happy then? Who's going to make these players happy? Every coach is not going to make the right decisions that you agree with. That's anything. That's football. That's anything. So you're going to get another head coach, and you're going to step up to the podium and say some of the same things about this other head coach, too. At one point, you got to hold yourself accountable, man. This man that was in the Western Conference Finals with a roster that a lot of people didn't think should have been in the Western Conference Finals. With a roster this year, he's in the playoffs again. I felt like he did the best he could with what he had. And then when he needed his star players to step up, they didn't.
Yeah.
So you know what? Everybody out the bushes, we caught.
You're not taking anything else from the team? No. I don't think it was the right move for the Lakers to fire Darvin Ham. I said this yesterday. I didn't want them to fire Darvin Ham because I have no idea, one, who they plan on replacing him with. And the replacement, obviously, would be ideally someone that could elevate the roster that you already have. Because to me, this isn't a coaching issue. It is a roster issue. And it is someone else's job to put together the roster. And the name is not Darvin Ham. So I'm just confused as to who's going to come in and make this particular roster into a team that's going to beat the Nuggets. Because you can't pitch me that the reason why he's fired is because you didn't win another game in this series. So what you're telling me is he's not fired because they lost the series to the Nuggets, because that's acceptable. But you got to win another game in the series in order for it to be an acceptable loss. That seems like for the Los Angeles Lakers, we're setting the bar a bit low. So what you're telling me is you are happy with this roster because there's no conversation about the person who put the roster together moving on. There's not even any conversation about if they did a good job or a bad job about putting the roster together. So you're telling me that The reason that they lost is because Darvin Ham was not a good enough coach to beat the Nuggets with the roster that you have. I personally do not see that. I don't see a world where there's any coach on this planet, not named Eric Spoelstra, who is unavailable to coach the Lakers, could come in and take this roster to beat the Nuggets. And as much as I love Spoelstra, I don't even know if Spoelstra can do it. Spoelstra's a great coach. He's not Moses. So I really don't feel like this was the right move, one, for the Lakers as far as winning goes, and two, as far as the future goes. What is the goal for the Lakers? Are you telling me that you're trying to compete for a championship? I don't believe that.
The goal is to make sure your best players are happy.
What I'm saying for
Okay,
that's
TJ, if that's the goal,
1 to 2 more years.
If that's the goal, then fine. I can get with you there. If the goal is just to keep your two top players happy, fine.
And
but here's the problem. Here's the problem, though. If the only goal with the next hire is to keep your top two players happy, you can't also be pitching me that you're competing at a high level. Like, your goal is not to compete at a high level.
No.
Because you were just in the Western Conference Finals.
As long as we have these two players, we're competitive with everybody. We compete with anybody.
Okay.
We compete with anybody.
So then what?
Except for the Nuggets.
And where,
At
though?
times.
This is
Okay.
At where?
No, I'm saying, like, compete, like, win championships with this?
Yeah.
What?
Listen, a play here or play there. Y'all act like y'all didn't watch these games. Play here. When you lose close games,
Here we go.
When you lose close games, it can go either way.
Come on.
Gotta
A
make the
made
basket.
shot or a missed shot.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is
Can-
Darvin
A
Ham,
good call, a bad call.
Darvin Ham playing defense or offense?
He's out there putting them in to play defense and offense.
Who, though?
Like,
Who is he putting in,
bro,
TJ?
when you coach the Lakers, this is just me, and I'm not a basketball player. You cannot have LeBron on the bench, Austin Reeves on the bench. Who is going to facilitate the offense?
Okay.
D'Angelo Russell,
I'm
him
not-
and AD running the pick and roll?
I'm not disputing. I'm not
Like,
disputing that.
Austin Reeves and LeBron, one of those two must be on the court at all times, because when LeBron's out, now Austin Reeves,
Do you
that's
hear
what
yourself?
That's what he did last year.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Do you hear yourself?
I'm watching the game.
We're talking about 39-year-old LeBron James or undrafted Austin Reeves.
Don't undraft him now. He should have been drafted. They just evaluated him wrong.
They have to be on the court at all times.
No, one of them. One of them.
I understand that. One of them has to be on the court at all times, or we have no chance. What are we talking? Are we?
I mean, this is the NBA. It's a players' league.
Are you?
It's a players'
Are
league.
we?
It's a players' league.
Okay, well, let's pivot to this then. Who should the Lakers want as their new head coach?
Yeah, TJ. Answer that for us, TJ. Who's taking them to the
Y'all
finals?
really hating on my team.
What?
Who
Y'all
taking them
hating
to
on
the
my team.
finals,
No, I don't know
TJ?
if it's hate. I think I'm genuinely confused as to what the goals are. I am a goal-oriented person. I need to know how do we measure success and failure? Or, in fact, are we measuring success and failure at all? And to me, I can measure something when I've seen what can be achieved. So Darvin Ham took the Lakers. Darvin Ham and the Lakers. I won't say Darvin Ham took the Lakers. But Darvin Ham, as the head coach of the Lakers, went to the Western Conference Finals from the play-in tournament, which is, by definition, something that we did not think was possible. So we saw that happen, right? Now, we speak very highly of Eric Spoelstra, who did the same thing, except for they went to the finals, right? So we just dismiss the fact, because they got swept, that they were in the Western Conference Finals. I push back on that you can talk about how good all those other teams were in the West last year. They had an opportunity to go to the Western Conference Finals, and they didn't go.
There must be things behind the scenes, game plan things that the players don't agree with. There has to be something.
I could get with that if the players were all
And when I say
playing at the highest level possible
it's
and
really
weren't,
two players.
weren't being put in position to win.
Because this is a world when we live in a world of have and have-nots. LeBron and AD, they the haves. Everybody else is a have-not. Whatever they want, that's what's going to happen.
You know what? I can't. I have to ask this question of Joy and James, because I'm not going to get a realistic answer from you. Look at the Lakers roster, look at the Warriors roster, and look at the Sacramento Kings roster.
Okay.
Which of those was the best and the worst? How would you rank those three rosters? Warriors, Kings, Lakers this year.
I would go Warriors, Kings, Lakers.
Yeah.
And that would be my order.
Like, that's the worst?
Outside of the stars?
That's the worst. Outside of the stars.
Outside of the
I feel like
stars?
Kaminga and a lot of those guys coming off
totality?
In totality,
You gotta go
those three
Kings, one.
rosters. Okay.
I would
Okay.
go Kings, Lakers, Warriors.
Were the Kings?
Me?
Were the Kings in the playoffs?
No.
Were the Warriors in the playoffs?
No.
So you can give me all this about the stars don't like what he's doing and we're not playing this and behind the scenes. The fact of the matter is they got back to the playoffs with a lesser roster than those two other teams. And we love Mike Brown as a head coach. He's not going anywhere. Steve Kerr just got a 2-year, $35 million extension. And Darvin Ham is paying the price because you didn't beat the defending champions? You only took one game off of them?
Hey, sometimes it's how you lose, man. You can't just get
I know.
Why did you how you lose, though,
I know,
is the
it's
question.
crazy how you
when your
have 4 points in the fourth
don't
quarter.
believe in you. They don't believe in the direction in your
But how
leadership.
about believing in putting the ball in the bucket, though, TJ?
They don't
the
believe.
Man, the man had 4. He's the half. He had 4 points. The have-not went over
To a certain
17
degree-
and all that.
To a certain degree, I feel you. Like, if you watch a Laker game, a playoff game with me,
man.
you're going to think something's wrong with me. And so...
I don't have to watch the game to feel that right now.
Who should they hire, though?
Now-
Who should they hire as the head coach?
You want to get somebody that LeBron's going to respect, that he's been down this road with him before, and they've been successful going down this road.
He's not available.
And he may not be available, but they will be eliminated tonight, and just go right across the hallway and say, hey, Ty Lue, come on.
Yeah.
And then, to me, that's,
Is that the only option? Is that
unless there's a dark horse out there like Spoelstra's
Spoelstra's not available, guys.
Rick Carlisle
I will speak
isn't
on behalf of
available.
the Miami Heat. Spoelstra will not be on the market.
So you want somebody that LeBron is comfortable with, because that's what it is.
So
he's won a championship with Ty Lue. They've been down this road.
Let me ask you that. Do you think this is going to be enough? You think if let's say Spoelstra was available, let's say that Rick Carlisle was available, let's say you could get Ty Lue.
with this
Does that make them a championship contender?
No.
We're always a contender when we got LeBron and AD.
Oh my God, okay.
You just got
James,
so one.
James, who should they bring in?
Whoever LeBron and AD want. I don't know who that is. I wish I had LeBron and AD's number to call and be like, bro, who y'all want? Because that's basically what they are saying. It's been a lot of coaches under LeBron James that have gotten fired that have done pretty good. Vogel won a championship with LeBron. He got fired. So I think in this situation, what do you want, LeBron James? How much longer are you going to play? Because if you're going to play 2 years, we'll hire a coach that you want for 2 years and then fire him after the 2 years and figure out what we're going to do. Because that's what's happening. That's what's going on right now. I don't like none of this. This is not Darvin Ham's fault. This team was in the Western Conference Finals. This team was back in the playoffs. This is the players' fault. They did not deliver. So whoever your players want to come be this head coach, then let them hire him, because it's not going to be no head coach they bringing in here that you just going to say, I love everything he does. We play football. Marvin was your coach. I'm sure you probably love Marv. It's a lot of stuff you like. What he doing? I ride for Coach Mike, as you know. It's a lot of stuff I did not like that Coach Mike did. But at the end of the day, we are playing the game, and it was not all on Coach Mike. I used to tell everybody all the time, the plays we won the Super Bowl with was the same plays we lost in the playoffs with, and everybody like, what plays we calling? The same plays we won the Super Bowl with. We just not making the plays now.
Right.
They making the plays. At the end of the day, Darvin Ham ain't turning the ball over. He not bouncing the ball off his foot. He not getting beat by Jokic in the fourth quarter, getting dominated by him. He not scoring 4 points. What do you want him to do? So LeBron and AD, come sit down in the man office, tell us who you want, so you can agree with him on everything. Because he didn't agree with a lot of stuff Ty Lue said.
Man, what?
That's all I'm saying. So as players, hey, do what you do, but let them hire the next head coach. That'll be me. I wouldn't even be in the meetings, Joy.
Yeah. So we gonna play this defense, and we just gonna let the fact that you let Jokic in the fourth quarter go one-on-one.
He defensive player of the year, though. You want us to send a bunch of help over there to the half?
If he killing you, you gotta send help.
So if he killing you, what you gonna do?
Gotta send help.
Who
Like
is the
you-
help? Where's the help coming from?
No, I mean on the court during the game.
Yeah.
Somebody got to come help.
The Nuggets have a better roster, though.
Game 2, Joker literally just took over, and they let him play one-on-one. And then after.
And what had AD been doing against Jokic
First three
better
quarters,
part of
really
that
good.
season.
Really
He had
good.
done-
One-on-one.
And you're talking, you're talking about Jokic. He's the best passing center. He's the best player in the league.
Make somebody else beat you.
How about
Yeah,
one of your
and they
guys go
will.
win the game?
And they will because they have a better
And they
roster.
did.
And they
Porter was
did.
killing them boys.
Rick-
And now we want to run people to Porter and let somebody else beat you.
Bron, exactly. Yes, D-Lo. Take the ball.
boy.
Yes, yes.
All I know
Attention
is,
to detail.
all I
That's
know
it.
is, if you up 20-some points in the game and
We should've
15
won that
points in the
game.
game,
We should've won that
players do what you got to do and deliver.
We should have won that game.
That ain't got nothing to
Are
do
we-
with Darvin
That
Ham.
hurt me.
You know,
That
are
hurt
we
me.
blaming Ty Lue for the Clippers and their collapses?
Yeah.
His best
How
player,
is Ty-
His
how-
best player is the plan.
Okay, but he's still got two other really good players, and on paper, I believe you
He
even
got
agree.
three. I mean, Westbrook.
The Clippers have the better roster.
Who do you think they should hire?
I want them to hire JJ Redick.
Who do you
I
think-
want them.
who
No,
do you
well,
think
look.
they- okay, so
to
what you
James's
want
point,
them to do.
there's not a solution. If there's look, you could go get Mike Budenholzer. If you're going to go get one guy who has a ring to his name, who is, if look, you didn't like his assistant in Darvin, you assume that Bud's going to have a little more authority in that locker room. He's the only one who makes sense in terms of I can make an argument that I'm upgrading at the position for guys who are available.
Right.
But short of that, it's a 1 to 2 year experiment. You have the sideshow of the LeBron, Bronny, father-son thing. You can't tell me that you're, Joey, I think you started out, like, you're at cross purposes here. Are we trying to win a championship?
Right.
Or are we trying to cater to our stars? Because
Trying to do it all.
Well,
You can't serve.
I don't know that you can
can't
serve both
all
of those
them.
masters.
Yeah, you can't make it all happen. I mean, I don't like that they fired him. I'm with you. Obviously, Budenholzer is the most qualified, available, has a ring, has the status to come in, the resume
fits.
to come in that fits this. Ty Lue, if I'm on the Clippers and I hear you talking about Ty Lue, isn't that incentive to keep Ty Lue? That the Lakers might be interested in immediately hiring Ty Lue?
1000%.
So Ty Lue's job is getting more secure the more that Ty Lue's name gets put into the Lakers' position.
He shouldn't want to be there. His best player can never play.
So-
Okay, I hear you, but this is Ty Lue's team, and I don't think it's that simple. Every time we say Ty Lue, I believe his job is more and more secure with the Clippers, because why would they give him up if the Lakers were immediately going to hire him? That doesn't make any sense. Jason Kidd is also not going to be available. These guys are not available now, and they likely will not be available. So who is available? Obviously, JJ Redick is someone who's out there. That's something that might be possible.
Please make that move.
I mean, if you're going to hire
it's so good
someone
for
that
us.
is just for the purposes of making LeBron happy, of keeping AD and LeBron happy, then you would want to hire somebody who is in their circle, obviously. I don't know what the Lakers' strategy is for this. It's very obvious that this was something that, in my opinion, was a very spur-of-the-moment type of decision, because it doesn't seem like the plan is set forward.
And 2 weeks ago, they were just saying that Darvin Ham's staying. Like, they changed direction based
Until
on
that press
reports.
conference.
I don't know what
That
to
press conference changed their mind.
I mean, there's other names out there.
lot of points.
You can
Phil
throw 'em out there.
Phil Handy,
David
Fizdale,
Joey's
JJ
on this.
Redick.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what is the goal.
What's the end
It's
goal?
hard for me to know whose
Yeah.
name is supposed to be in here if we don't know what the goal is.
What's the end goal? Mr.
happy.
Mr.
The end goal
Nosotros.
is to be playing in June. That's the end goal.
Okay.
That's
Well,
the end
then,
goal.
then we're going to start having conversations about the roster then, too.
Yeah, we need a little reinforcements, a little bit.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.